beautiful evening in Concord, California. It is a beautiful evening in Concord, Massachusetts, as we welcome you to the Coca-Cola Superspeedway, the original fictional track in NR2003, qualifying for the 22nd race of the 2026 season of the NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series, and the final qualifying session of the 2026 running of the Duncan Month of Speed. Here as we set the grid for tonight's Sam Adams Firecracker 400. We are ready to roll off here. Cars already rolling off of the pit lane. There's Carson Miller, already a super speedway win under his belt earlier on this season in the FMGTC for GT Daytona. Looking for a slightly better run that he had yesterday up at Watkins Glen International, where both he and Nathan Buchanan took each other out from the race lead in the Firecracker at the Glen. Russell Blaze got a solid top 10 run in that race. Dylan Matthews retired midway through that campaign. We'll look through the grid at the drivers coming out, and there is half of the field still alive in the Duncan Month of Speed. Unionville, New York's Eric Monaco. That Pennzoil on Chevrolet, number 4 Chevrolet Monte Carlo for Chevy Power Racing, making up half the field, fighting for those final 50 bonus points and a Duncan Month of Speed crown for one of the winningest drivers here. In fact, the winningest driver on the North American Sim Racing Network. Got the all-time winningest driver on the NESRN taking on the all-time winningest driver in NR2003 offline. That is Australia's own Zachary Fitzwater, piloting the number 99 Krispy Kreme Ford Fusion for NS Racing, as Campbell Marsh will jump to the top of the boards here. Already 13 minutes to go in Q. Now Rogel Dorn and Eric Monaco top of the charts. A 112.932 for Dorn. That was on his outlap, however. These cars just getting up to speed. Dorn that last time by, he ran a 148 on that outlap, and these guys are going to be blitzing those times. And there is Owen Miles. What a last couple of days that has been for the Rochester New Yorker. He was able to get his first win in nearly 5 years in the NBCS. Second career win. A dramatic finish at the Boston International Speedway for the Craftsman 500, where he had to hold off Bruno Diacomo. And then just only 2 days after that, the day after that, he is able to survive the chaos to make the Firecracker at the Glen. And then just about 24 hours after that, gets his third win of the FMGTC season, and one of the biggest races on the calendar for the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship, getting that win for GT Le Mans at the Firecracker at the Glen. It's bounced out of the Duncan Month of Speed after our most recent road course race at the Pensacola the Papyrus Motorsports Park, as Campbell Marsh will jump to the top of the charts. But I know Owen Miles would love to get back-to-back wins in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, but he is on a winning streak right now, as he and Priya McShane won in pretty dominant fashion. Both dominant. I'd say dominant for Owen Miles. He took advantage of some RNG and, of course, Watkins Glen being Watkins Glen, but he was certainly no slouch in that race. And Priya McShane having to hold off some of the best, one of them being Ryan Durrani. Now that 22 car had to hold off, trying to find where that 86 is poking around. He's out on track yet. I believe Durrani, there he is. He's actually relatively in front of where we're looking there in that Amazon Prime number 86 car, right behind Russell Blaze, who had a solid result yesterday for GT Le Mans. Well, the racing gods might be finally shining down on Michael Lewis after the end of that race yesterday. Only about 8 laps to go. The owner of Mal Racing is the 2 Mal Racing cars nose to tail right now. Angel Gutierrez had a solid result at Watkins Glen in the 90 car. But Michael Lewis, he was running down Owen Miles late in the running, but a piston failure at the worst possible time relegated him to a midway finish. Sits on the pole right now. And now that we say that, Nathan Stapleton will jump to the top of the chart in the 97. Corey Case will go up as well as Stapleton, Case, Lewis, and Brandon Wilmington will be the first 4 rows at the moment, so with 10 minutes to go in Q. Brandon Wilmington, of course, we know that he's glad to be back here at the night version of the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. That Tillamook 62 that has dropped pretty deep in the point standings after a couple of less than desirable results for that 62 team. But the last time we were at Coca-Cola under the lights here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, you got to go all the way back to 2020 when Brandon Wilmington won what was his first career win in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series and our first ever visit to Coca-Cola under the lights. Nathan Stapleton looking for his most recent win, or his first win since one of our last Super Speedway races at Armory Digital Super Speedway in that NS Racing 97 car, and taking a look at where 2 Duncan Month of Speed drivers have qualified. Eric Monaco all the way down in 20th, Zachary Fitzwater 33rd. Although at a track like Coca-Cola, it really doesn't matter where you start this race. The only thing that matters is if you can finish here. And we have seen in the past, this race has gotten pretty crazy. Now, we are going back to using the night version, which does not have the super speedway, which does not have the safer barrier walls. Because we were using the 2021 version, but after how the last couple of races have really transpired, and you go back to just how the Loves American Truck Series finale was kind of, in a word, a gong show. We decided, you know what, we're going to go back under the lights here at Coca-Cola. So we see a couple of cars flying on by. Aaron Abel, your POW MIA 600 winner from earlier this season, about 2 months ago at this point. About a month and a half ago, I should say. Right behind Eric Monaco. 8 minutes to go in qualifying. All 42 cars have put down at least one time here in Q. Alex Sanvitale, current points leader by a wide margin over everybody else. Top of the charts for now, and Alexander Rowe will go to the outside pole. That'll jump everybody down. Logan Williams will go up to 3rd. Nathan Stapleton and Ryan Durrani will round out the top 5, as Corey Case currently rounding out the starting 6. And Eric Monaco all the way down to 35th in the standings, compared to Zachary Fitzwater, who has transitioned up into the 15th position. Know how NS Racing historically has loved these super speedways. To my knowledge, I don't believe Zachary Fitzwater himself has a win on a super speedway, as Alex Sanvitale will go in the middle of 3 wide. Doesn't quite, he was on the bottom part of 3 wide. If you want to talk about going middle 3 wide, that was Reggie Fogelman yesterday in the midway point of that race at Watkins Glen, where he split Matt Lagasse and somebody else. I believe it may have been Lauren Martinez, who was split down to the inside. That was one of the coolest things we've ever seen, and he was able to hold off John Andrews for a solid second-place run. Ironically, the defending winner of this race, John Andrews. Mateus Bento desperately in need of a good run here today in that 71 car. Still only 1 win. Survived the chaos at Las Vegas and took advantage of the entire strategy in that race. Sarah Taylor in the 45. Announcing a couple of weeks ago at this point, earlier this week I should say, that IKEA and I believe Taco Bell will be joining the ST Motorsports Brigade for the 2026 season of the Loves American Truck Series. Roberto Crown Jr. underneath her as well, and things look to have stagnated a little bit in the qualifying runs. And we take a look at the 2 Mal Ford Fusions along with Esteban Lasser right back in the battle as well. Mal Racing looking for their first win as an organization for the freshman program here. And they have had success at Coca-Cola. Of course, Roberto Crown Jr. does have a championship banner for that team at this track back in 2026. Kind of won that by default, if you will, based on just the circumstances. Like we said, that race was kind of a gong show, and he won that race despite his truck being wrecked. That kind of signified how the end of the season really was for the Loves American Truck Series. Big part of the reason why we're back under the lights, and taken out the super speedway or have taken out the safer barriers, because you know what? It's a video game. I really don't think these guys care if they go head on into the wall. We're not going to get any Dale Earnhardts here, fortunately. Knock on wood. Riley Sampson, Logan Alexander, Igor Barreto down the pit lane. Barreto looking for win number 2 of the season for your Dover winner. It's been a really quiet year for Logan Alexander as well. You know, you go back to the last couple of seasons, usually by this point in the season, he's got at least 1 win under his belt, maybe 2. But, you know, as of this weekend, he is now the only winless driver for Dracoan Racing in that duo, with Owen Miles getting his win. Riley Sampson trying to get win number 2 of the year after winning fuel mileage race at Papyrus a couple of weeks ago. Rogel Dorn still looking for his first win of the season as well. Looking for that second career win with 4 minutes to go in qualifying. Danny Fallington, another winner on a super speedway this year. Earlier on at Greenville Spartanburg, and there's a lot of guys on the grid that haven't won. But there have been drivers that have won. And you look all in here. Alex Sanvitale, despite having as many top 10 finishes as he does not have a win in 2026, despite having, you know what, he only has 1 top 5 finish, but he does have a plethora of top 10s, 10 of which of the 21 races we've ran so far here in 2026, Alex Sanvitale has finished in the top 10. It's just really that staggering consistency that has helped him out a ton. You know what, Toby Murphy, still winless here in 2026 for the 2024 Series champion. Owen Miles just got his first win of the year. Esteban Lacer still looking for that second career win. It's not been a good season by any stretch of the imagination for guys like Caleb Rose. You just look at Caleb Rose's 2026 in general. You go back to yesterday, wrecking out in the first lap of the race at Watkins Glen for the FMGTC, and then eventually being wrecked out of the race proper. He's looking for a good result, and he's qualified 18th right now. So, again, you know, these super speedways like Coca-Cola, they're a complete roulette wheel. You don't know what you're going to get except craziness. And that's what we're going to get here later on this evening in about 45 minutes' time. Campbell Marr still looking for that first career win. Logan Williams still looking for a win. Still looking for, and there's a lot of drivers on the grid still looking for their second career wins. You know, you got Carson Miller. He's only got 1 win. Dylan Matthews still only has 1 win to her name. Russell Blaze still winless. Same thing with Campbell Marsh. You go up in here. Bruno Diacomo still looking for his first win. Charlie Davenport looking for his first oval win. Bradley Ream has had some success here in the past. I think he flipped last year, actually. Wyatt Walker still looking for his first win. Reggie Fogelman's got 2 wins under his belt at Pocono and Nashville. Braden Perez hasn't won a race since the 2024 Daytona 500. So he certainly knows how to run these super speedway races, but he is in dire straits right now of missing the chase for the first time in his career, of a career that dates all the way back to 2021, back when we first introduced the Gen 4 cars, back when we had the 2000s bodies, and was able to make the chase every year from the 2000s bodies. I just realized that our audio has been switched, I believe. Okay, yeah, it was switched, I think. So that's why the cars were a little bit quieter than what we anticipated. Of course, now we got that volume fixed. Thomas Troxel still only has 1 win to his name. Alex Lozano, I believe, has 2 wins in that 11 car. Berto Crown Jr.'s only got the 1 win. Bryce Egan only has the 1 win. Sarah Taylor has a handful of wins, the majority of them coming on road courses for that 45 car. Michael Lewis is still winless in his sophomore season. Corey Case has a couple of wins for the defending series champion, and Angel Gutierrez, same thing for him. He's still looking for that first win for Mal Racing, however. And talking about Caleb Rose, we didn't even look at the scoring pylon. The Harlan, Kentucky Colonel, he heard us talking about him and the struggles he's been having. He puts that 32 car on the top of the charts right now, a 54.125. Came off pit lane, and he is at the head end of a really big pack right now, and a lot of drivers in this pack inside the top 10. You got Logan Williams Campbell Marsh. Cole Sampson has made his way in the top 10. Dylan Matthews. So it's going to take a really big pack like this later on tonight. That's going to make your way to the front. And, of course, when you're the head end of this pack, you have got the green light. And it looks like, just like we saw in FMGTC qualifying the other day, putting up a Hail Mary time right there at the end is the Colonel Caleb Rose. And he's looking for a little bit of redemption after a poor result yesterday and just trying to get a win here for Pacific Racing at the place where it all began for Pacific Racing. Campbell Marsh, the defending Duncan Month of Speed champion, will right now be in second, and taking a look at where all the Duncan Month of Speed drivers would start. Eric Monaco right now in 21st. Zachary Fitzwater, 27th. Still have a little bit of bonus time to go, I believe, and we in fact do. I believe we've got about 30 seconds of bonus time to go, so all these drivers will get one final chance to try and put down a faster lap. See as they rumble. 20 seconds to go in bonus time. I believe that is going to do it, though. Talk about somebody for a little bit enough, and turns out they're going to try and get the job done as the final seconds will tick down in qualifying. How about that for Mr. Caleb Rose? His first pole position of 2026. Comes out of a place where you don't really need a good qualifying run, but you know what? He'll definitely take it. Caleb Rose and Campbell Marsh, your two pole sitters for the race later on this evening here for the Sam Adams Firecracker 400. Logan Williams, Alex Vitale, Cole Sampson, and Dylan Matthews round out your starting six. All of them but the 96 were in that massive 12-car pack right at the head end of the field. And a lot of those drivers putting in their putting some Wheaties in their car to get to the front here in qualifying. Like we're talking about Monaco, he will start in 22nd. He fell down a spot compared to Zachary Fitzwater, who will remain in 27th. Those two are going to be uber close, but they're also going to be mid-pack where a lot of the trouble really kicks off here at Coca-Cola. And the two Dracoan racing cars of Logan Alexander and Owen Miles, your winner for GT Le Mans yesterday. A little bit hungover, but you know what? We saw that a little bit in the Holy Smoked Meats duel 2 days ago for Owen Miles. We'll have to see if he's going to try and do first to last or last to first challenge here tonight. But we're going to see that. We're going to find out here in just about 45 minutes time. Or rather, about 40 minutes time. Here on the NESRN is coverage for the Sam Adams Firecracker 400. We'll kick off here at 8 o'clock Eastern Time right here on your home for the NBCS, the North American Sim Racing Network. It's the final race of the Duncan Month of Speed as Eric Monaco and Zachary Fitzwater will square off to see who will take the third ever crown in the Duncan Month of Speed. We're going to find out for 400 miles later on tonight here at the original fictional track of NR 2003.